You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. I'm your host, Steph, and today I'm going to be talking about a number of different topics because we got a lot of 49ers news in just a span of hours today. And I'll also be recapping day one of the Senior Bowl out here in Mobile, Alabama. But first things first, let's get into this news. The biggest one being DeMeco Ryans. He has accepted a 6-year head coaching job offer from the Houston Texans. 6 years. I'm glad it's 6 years because to me it indicates that, the Texans are willing to give him time, to turn that franchise around. And I really can't think of any coach better for the job than DeMeco Ryans. I mean, they already had the connection going because of everything. He used to play for the Texans, and so it's a great homecoming story for them. Quick question for those of you watching: is my Wi-Fi okay? Because I'm seeing that it's kind of low. I just hope the video is okay. Just let me know if you guys have any trouble, with the video, and I'll move somewhere else in here. But yeah, DeMeco Ryans, he is gone as we figured he would be. Best of luck to DeMeco Ryans. Nothing but great memories of his time here in San Francisco. So on to the next chapter for him. Just another coach that we as 49er fans will cheer for and keep an eye on as they move forward in their careers. But now the question becomes, well, what happens with the 49ers defensive coordinator position? What do the 49ers have planned? And, before I get into that, a couple of other things. I mean, we got to keep this in mind. DeMeco Ryans, being a head coach, he knows a lot of coaches inside the 49ers building as well. He's going to want to bring some of those guys over to Houston if he can. And so Texans are requesting to interview Bobby Slowick, who is the 49ers passing game coordinator for offensive coordinator, to be under DeMeco Ryans. And so Slowick, who is kind of filled in as the, new Mike McDaniel for this team and for Kyle Shanahan, he's already getting offensive coordinator interest with DeMeco Ryans out there in Houston. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. In the past, the 49ers, they have outright denied interviews before. I mean, it's DeMeco Ryans, so in this case, they might not. So we'll see what happens, but there could be a bit of a domino effect here with some of the coaches within the 49ers building that could potentially go with DeMeco Ryans. So that's a pretty big blow for this team. So what are the succession plans for the 49ers since we know that DeMeco Ryans is out? Well, I'll start with the first one. Vic Fangio is the name who has been in the conversation since last season, honestly, because he had been around the team during the offseason, during the early portions of the season, just kind of there. It seemed like he was just visiting, just checking out the lay of the land. And it seemed like a very proactive move on the 49ers' part because they knew that DeMeco Ryans was going to be getting head coaching consideration, and not just consideration. They knew he was going to be leaving for a head coaching gig after this season. So what did the 49ers do? They invited Vic Fangio in the building a year early, got him a little reacquainted, I should say, with the 49ers and this current team that they've built, this current defense. And so I think that benefits both sides here, the fact that they're already familiar with each other and Fangio definitely is an option for defensive coordinator of the future for the 49ers. Now, that comes with some questions. He typically has run a 4-3. All of his defenses have been 4-3. The 49ers have been 3-4. Does that matter? How much does that matter? Will he change it? Those are all questions that would come with that hiring, but let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Some other interviews that the 49ers have conducted is defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, Steve Wilks, and Washington's corner or DB's coach, Chris Harris, has also been reported to have been requested for interviews by the 49ers for their defensive coordinator positions. Now, if the 49ers want to hire Vic Fangio, just a reminder, they would still have to adhere by the Rooney Rule. So maybe that's why Steve Wilks is being interviewed. Maybe that's why, they are looking at other options as well. But as of right now, I would say that it's pretty. No, I don't know. I shouldn't say it's pretty certain, but I would say that the Vic Fangio 49ers connection just seems very real right now. And I have a feeling that Vic Fangio was waiting for the 49ers position to open up so that he can take it. And I think that's why he didn't take the Dolphins position, which I heard today that Dolphins report was made by Vic Fangio's agents. So maybe just trying to squeeze a little more money or garner more interest his direction by getting that report out. I don't know. That's just what I heard. And as the shirt says, trust me, bro. Just trust me on that. So yeah, the 49ers, they have plans in place. It should give us all some comfort in knowing that the 49ers have thought this through. Since last season, they've been preparing for this to happen. So I think they have a good succession plan in place, whether that be with Fangio or any one of these guys. They've thought it through. So let's look at some of the draft picks, though, that the 49ers have for 2023. This is a projection, of course, but it looks like the 49ers are going to have a ton of mid-round picks, a ton. And when you have a lot of those, there's a lot of movement. You can move potentially to the second round. It would take a lot to get into the first. I wouldn't rule it out, but it would take a lot. But definitely could get into the second round if they so wish. They have 3 third rounders. They have 3 fifth rounders, 3 seventh rounders. And because DeMeco Ryans has officially taken another position, 49ers are receiving a 2025 third round pick for DeMeco Ryans. So yeah, we'll just have to keep tabs on the whole draft situation. And that is kind of why I'm here at the Senior Bowl, because it's officially draft season. Getting a question here in the comments from Nathan. Did you interview anyone else at the Senior Bowl? I did. I didn't interview Evan Hull, running back from Northwestern. I didn't interview him, but I did get a video of him being interviewed. So I will post that later. I also got video of the Commanders running backs coach. I always forget her name. But she's Jennifer King. I got a video of her as well. And what is that guy's name? One second. DeJuan Jones, I got a video of him as well. And I also got a video with Julius. I interviewed Julius. What's his last name? Julius Brants. I think that's his last name. So yeah, I interviewed him. Both Brants and Matthew Bergeron have met with the 49ers. The 49ers and pretty much every team meets with every player here at the Senior Bowl, but I think it's still important to, any chance I get, I ask the players, one, like, has there been an interview or meeting with any of these teams that have kind of left a good impression on you, like which teams left a good impression, things like that. And yeah, so Nathan is asking that running back Ryan Hull. I did not ask him if he met with the 49ers. So, but I really liked him. He looked great today. He looked really good. Sorry, not Ryan Hull, Evan Hull. He looked really good. So I did not ask him, but if I get a chance tomorrow, I'll ask him. I'll be a little better prepared with the questions on who I want to ask questions to. In fact, Nathan, if you have any players who you know are here and you want me to ask if they've met with the 49ers, let me know in the comments. I'll make it a point to try to ask them tomorrow or on Thursday. So just let me know in the comments and I'll make it happen. But yeah, the Senior Bowl has been fun. I will talk more about that in a bit. I did want to mention a couple of other things before I get to the Senior Bowl recap. We heard today that Trey Lance, he's going to be fully cleared in 3 to 4 weeks. That is huge for this team because, there was a lot of, after the injury to Brock Purdy, I think we were kind of thinking, well, man, we're not going to have any quarterbacks to start the offseason program. But it looks like Trey Lance will have the offseason program available to him. And that's great for him because he missed much of last season, all of last season pretty much. I want him to get a chance at showing what he can do without any competition, without Jimmy Garoppolo there, without Brock Purdy there. He deserves that chance, right? And I truly think the 49ers want to give him that chance. So he's going to have an opportunity, to show what he can do. It will be tough. He's coming back from an injury. So there is always that adjustment period, that feeling out period. But I think it's great news that the 49ers are going to have Trey Lance back, fairly early, and he'll have the entire offseason to work with the team. And in my mind, that kind of takes away the possibility of a Tom Brady, signing here in with the 49ers, because I was thinking to myself, well, if both of these quarterbacks and Trey Lance and Purdy are going to be, injured to start the season or the offseason program, then they really need someone a little more reliable. And I was like, well, Tom Brady's that guy. But if Trey Lance is going to be ready, and again, this team invested so much in Trey Lance, they want to see what he can do. If he's going to be ready early, then I think the 49ers could then get away with adding a veteran in the mid-tier, someone like an Andy Dalton, Jacoby Brissett, a guy who, if he has to start, he could maybe win you some games, but he's not going to be a threat to Lance or Purdy, to take over full time. But it'll just be, again, good insurance policy for this team, which they need. So that's what I think. So I think this is great news on the Trey Lance front and on the 49ers quarterback front as well. So great news. But yeah, let's talk about the Senior Bowl. It was hot as hell. Well, it's not that it was hot, but the sun, we were in the sun the entire time. So I'm like, my face is red. My hand you probably can't see. Well, yeah, you could see where my bracelet was during practice because you could see the line. It was scorching, but it was fun. It was a good first day. Anytime it's a first day of anything, whether it be training camp or in this case Senior Bowl, it's always a feeling out period for me where I'm like a little overwhelmed at first. One, because often in these practices there's a lot going on. There's a lot of different they split up into position groups, and so there's several different things happening at the same time. There's a ton of people. So yeah, it's a little overwhelming, but I think I settled in, and I was able to, for one, I really want to do better at keeping an eye on what the 49ers in particular may be looking at this off season in the draft. And so I was keeping an eye on the 49ers scouts. I'm not even going to lie to you. There are about 7 scouts for the 49ers there. That isn't uncommon. A lot of teams have that many scouts at the Senior Bowl, but I counted about 7 or 8. and their director of college scouting, Tariq Ahmad, was there as well. He was on the field, so I got a really good look at him, and I was keeping an eye on what he was looking at because, again, director of college scouting, he's one of the big wigs, and so I want to know what he's interested in. So I did see him looking at corners quite a lot. I also saw him he looked at safeties briefly, also looked at defensive linemen briefly, but it seemed like corners was kind of like the emphasis for him in particular. A couple guys that I have heard that they have interest in, again, Bentz and Julius Brents out of Kansas State, and Bergeron, who I mentioned, a couple guys that the 49ers are interested in and I've met with. So those are guys I'm going to keep an eye on. But again, I would say corner was a big emphasis for Ahmad today. And I'll keep an eye on some other guys. I'd really like to see more offensive linemen and defensive linemen tomorrow. That's something I'll make a point to look at a little bit more. Nathan wants me to ask Rajon Wright. Let me see. I got the roster list here. It's a lot of players. Oh, okay, yeah. Rajon White, right out of Oregon State. He's a corner. If you met with the 49ers. Okay. Yeah, I'll look out for him tomorrow, and I'll try to get an interview with him. Nathan asks, can you post a video of you interviewing Julius Brents? Yes, I will. It wasn't a long interview. Again, like, this is my first time doing a Senior Bowl, and honestly, this is my first time asking a player questions, I think. So, at least in a on the field setting. So, I was a little nervous at first. I'm an introvert, so like I have to kind of plan out what I'm going to say ahead of time, and I hadn't thought about it, so I didn't have a lot of questions in mind right then and there. It sucked, but now that I have a better idea, I'll have a list of questions ready for like whoever I interview tomorrow, and so tomorrow will be a better day for me and for you, content-wise. So yeah, Nathan, I will post that video with Julius, and I'll also post the video of Evan Hull. I also got videos of some of the practice reps, so I will make sure to post that as well to basically recap what I saw out of, day one. Evan Hull was a guy that popped out. Julius Brents had an awesome day today. He's very physical. And I liked what I saw out of him. I think I got one of his reps on video too, so I'll post that as well. So keep an eye out. It may be posted as a short, so just make sure you look at my shorts. I posted the Bergeron interview on the YouTube shorts, so keep an eye on that. And yeah, I'll have more content for you guys tomorrow. And again, to recap, 49ers, we're looking at corners. It seemed like that was a point of emphasis, looking at secondary guys, and also got some defensive line, offensive line looks as well. It's always interesting when they do the one-on-ones, the defensive linemen and offensive linemen. So that always gets a lot of attention from everyone on the field. So there was a lot of people looking at that one. Tariq Ahmad also watched that portion as well. So yeah, I'd say it was a good first day. And it's awesome. We're going to go out in a little bit to have dinner and also hopefully network with some folks. So yeah, I'll end this live at this point, but don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. There's more content on the way. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter because I do post some videos on that as the practices are happening at Steph 49K. So make sure you follow that. Make sure you're subscribed. I will be posting my video clips here shortly after this live. So appreciate all the support, guys. Have a good rest of your Tuesday evening. Peace.